That's so funny. I was like, I just, I think a lot of people don't think it's bullying because they're the ones that are their logic is like, I felt this way, so I want other people to feel this way. For no reason. And like, it's not fair, I'm the only person who went through that. So everyone else has to go through that. And it's like, yeah, that's called bullying. Like, if this person has nothing to do with you and you're just targeting them because you want them to feel bad because you feel bad about your life and yourself, that's called bullying. I mean, a lot of people say it means that person doesn't have their shit together. Like, that's how most people say it these days. So, like, before it used to be called bullying, and then now they're like, oh yeah, that person doesn't have their shit together. In Japan, they're called neets. So, like, there's people, like, they don't have any friends. Nobody, like, wants to hang out with them because they bully people all the time, right? And they start copying exactly word for word what they see on TV. It's just kind of weird. Like they see celebrities behave that way on a show, so they do exactly what the character's doing, which is technically stealing. Um, they like, but they try to pass it off as if it was their own idea. That's the stealing part. So if you're doing that to like make a reference or talk about your favorite TV show or whatever, that's called being a fan. But if you're doing that and saying that it's your own work, then that's called stealing. So that's what that is. Yeah, if you're trying to claim it as your own, if it's not your own, whether it be written or pictorial or ideas or anything like that, if it's not your own idea that you didn't come up with, then it's your, what's it called? It's called you are stealing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I don't know, so many people are stealing from me. I'm like, a lot of them are bullying me because there's this one girl named Marcia. I don't know if that's her real name. Her YouTube handle is Cutie Pie Marcia, and she's listed as dating Felix online. And she was copying me, and she was taking advantage of other people around me because she knew they were racist. So they were like, she was doing bad things to me, and then she knew that they wouldn't even care about it because they would only care if it was a white person. So that's why she was doing that, so she can steal off me, like my ideas, the way I talk, what I speak, my personality traits, and a lot of people were involved in that because they wanted her to make more money. Like the people who were actively working with her wanted her to make more money, and then the people that were actually watching were doing that because they just wanted to see her fail. Like they thought it was funny that she's honestly she's a stupid bitch, but like she's like really really like she doesn't know that she's stupid. You know what I mean? Like she's a stupid bitch, right? She's a stupid hoe, but she doesn't know that. And people who were watching her were fans of her. Were only doing that because they're like, oh my god, she doesn't think she's stupid. She doesn't know. Like she doesn't know that they're like gonna just use her and like take advantage of her or whatever. And she doesn't know that like her boyfriend Felix doesn't. That's not his own boyfriend. But she thinks she's playing him. It's actually kind of funny. If it wasn't for the fact that I was actually directly involved in it, I'm like, she's stealing from me and making my life miserable, and you guys don't even care because you think it's funny and you're just there until all that shit happens so you can watch her fail. Like, that's not okay. That's parasitic. So I was like, what the fuck is that shit? It's just weird, and I'm like, and like, all of them started bullying me after. That's the funny part. I'm like, you thought you were a good person because you could have liked it and still done something, right? That's why I'm just like, you didn't have to just watch her do that, and then, like, you could have just not told me and still, like, helped me out that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have watched Marcia and say all that stuff and make her think that, and then think that is whatever, and then still, like, try to, like, subtly, like, help me out or something. You didn't, so obviously, you're just as stupid as she is. Right? Because you don't have a legal defense. And I'm like, that's so stupid. I don't know what this is called. Like, To me, it's like watching porn. Honestly, it's really stupid. But it is stupid. They all know that. Okay, I just want to be very clear. People who have been in the industry for a long time and who know what it's like, they know it's stupid. Why do they make it? Because there's a lot of stupid people, or there's a lot of people who like stupid things. Right? Like, it's just kind of like taking a break from reality, or like all those emotions you have and you kind of displace it somewhere else, right? But everyone knows porn's stupid. It's really stupid. Although it's fun to do that kind of stuff with your boyfriend or your husband or something. Although I don't think you can do porn with your husband. I think that's like a boyfriend girlfriend thing. Like, I was wondering about that. I'm like, if I did that with my husband, like, it feels kind of like, it's like lame. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like, why the hell would I want to do that with my husband? You know what me and my husband can do? We can like purchase property and ruin people's lives that way. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was married. Like, split on like some sort of dual income or something like that by investing in house flipping or like rental units or something like that, or like, I don't know, volunteer work on their free time. That's what I would do if I was married. I'd be like, oh, we both work and we have enough money saved up. Do you wanna like open up a business and like make all the clothes like really really cute, but like if anybody else just work, they're gonna bitch about it. That's what I would do because I would be bored and I just need something to do with my time. Yes, or like they're like, you want to open up a bar together, or like, you want to go, yeah, you want to open up a food stand, yeah, like just take turns every weekend, see who's coming here to the city, so you can make fun of them or whatever. I just I don't fucking know if I like doing this talk. But if I was like a boyfriend girlfriend, then yeah, I would probably do that whole like weird porn stuff. Yeah, that's what I would do with my boyfriend. I would probably do that with my husband. Unless I was married and he was okay with me being a porn star and having other guys' dick inside me like for like 8 to 10 hours a day for like 12 months straight. I feel weird. I like, you know what? Kudos to you guys who are married to porn stars. I'm just like, I could do it. If my boyfriend was a or my husband was a porn star, either way, I would be like, I just I would feel weird. I'm like, I just literally watched you like bang some chick for like the past 5 hours. I don't think this is working for me. I can't. Yeah, I don't think this relationship is gonna work out. Like, this is kind of why I don't want to date sex workers, honestly. Like, not that like I have anything against them or anything, but me personally, like, I might be able to be friends with some of them, but I wouldn't be able to be like I wouldn't be able to like marry one or date one because they're sex workers. I'm just like, I get that it's like just work, and like I'm not like trying to convince you to change your life because that would mean that we're getting married or like we're getting into like a serious like what's called like we're actually like investing business together, like as business partners and associates and colleagues. We're embarking on a new journey together. But you don't have to do that with your just significant other. You can do that with friends or something. That's how a lot of people started making it in America. Not gonna lie. Most of them had a group of people with them and they like start investing and doing all that kind of stuff together. But I'm just like, it was just weird, honestly. Like, I just, excuse me, I burped. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that with like, I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable with the fact that you're expecting me to make an exception for the fact that you're having sex with somebody else, even though it's just a job and you have a relationship with that person, and you're expecting me to be okay with that. Just because, that I shouldn't discriminate against you for being in sex work. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I get that. Like, literally, I get that, like, you're, like, I'm not okay with it, but I'm sure other people will be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's okay for you to do sex work or anything. Like, I'm fine with the fact that, like, Like, if I was a friend with that person, I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. But like, if that person's supposed to be dating me and we're supposed to be romantically like, whatever. I'm not talking about like the STIs or anything like that. I'm just like, look, like you're doing so much of what we're supposed to be doing together with somebody else, but just for money, and then you're gonna do the same thing with me. And I'm not saying that like. All I'm really trying to say is that like I'm not personally comfortable with that. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and I'm not saying like you. This is. I don't want to discriminate. I'm not really. Like I'd still be friends with you. Like I wouldn't ignore you, and I wouldn't want you to like. If you wanted to switch jobs, like I'd be all for it. But like, and I wouldn't really say that you were like a bad worker or anything, or like you shouldn't be hired because you used to work in the sex industry. Like I wouldn't say that kind of stuff. But I would be like, because I don't believe that's true. Like I don't. This is called discrimination. Yeah, that's discrimination. But I don't want to personally date you. Do you understand? Like I don't want to date you or be sexually or romantically involved with somebody just based on the fact that like I know what you were doing. You know what I mean? And like listen, I'm not gonna be naive and say it's fine. I'm like honestly I know what that kind of work is and I know why you're doing it. And sometimes like it feels like you have no other choice. And yeah, like it's sometimes you may even enjoy your work and you shouldn't like whatever, it's consensual, like no, I totally get that, but I just me personally I'm like I don't think that's a good way to go about living life expecting other people to treat you normally, because I know what that is, you know what I mean? Like I know like for a fact that like you're only doing that kind of stuff, and not only is it illegal, but it's like you're doing that because you want a way to earn money for your time. But instead of getting a job like a regular person, since you don't have to work that long, like you just trying to be lazy about it. It's just weird. And like you like how would you feel if I did that but I'm a polygamist and you're a sex worker? Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so like I like to date other people, so I have more than one boyfriend at a time. Like I get 5 boyfriends or 6 boyfriends, whatever my time and my resources will allow me. And they all know about each other and they're all okay with it. Okay? And you wanna date me, you're gonna be like my 6th boyfriend at the same time, but we never see each other at the same time. We all have different lives and separate things and whatever. But we do stuff together, right? That's boyfriend girlfriend. So like we're doing our separate things, but we're doing it together. We have moments where we do stuff together. Those are friends. But if you are doing that sexually, like you having sex with each other, that's called boyfriend girlfriend. Unless it's just like I don't want to get into it, but anyway, basically I have like a bunch of boyfriends, and you're gonna be added to the bunch of boyfriends, which means I don't have that much time for you because I'm with my other boyfriends, right? Because I'm dating more than one person at a time. Like I'm not gonna like if you text me and like I'll tell you like I'm gonna be away on vacation for like 2 weeks. If you ask me where I'm going, I'm gonna be like going with one of my boyfriends. That's what I am talking about. So if you are not okay with that, right? Like as a sex worker, you're like that's not okay. Like you're only allowed to have me as your only boyfriend. But why is it that like what do you call it? So like they're typically bullies. They get into sex work. I know it's weird, but okay. So like, so let's say this. If you're not okay with me like having all those boyfriends, or to break up with all of them so we can be together, but you can't change your job just to be with me. Like you're asking for a lot. Like a lot. Like if it's not okay for like if you're okay with that, then I should be okay with that. That's what I mean. But if I'm a type of person where I like monogamous people, right? I'm a monogamous person, for example, and I only like being with one person romantically or sexually at a time, right? Until that relationship is over, which is odd because it shouldn't have ended. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like if you're in a monogamous relationship, there's no reason for that relationship to end. But the fact that like you guys broke up is already like a bad sign. And if you ever had exes in the past, no, I get that like situations change and like you find out about stuff that you didn't know about and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes people get jealous. Sometimes like if you're left out or whatever. Not that, but like, I don't know, like, just to me, I'm just like, it's a little weird that like you're with that person for so long and all of a sudden you guys decide to break up. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's weird. Yeah, it's like really weird. I sound like a marriage counselor, honestly. Yeah, I sound like a relationship guru or like marriage counselor or something. It's weird. But yeah. So like, if if that guy's like saying like, oh my god, like you have to break up with all your boyfriends. Like, there's no way we can date if you have all those guys in your life. And I'm like, cool. I guess I'm not gonna date you. I'm not getting with all these guys that I really enjoy hanging out with, and like the only reason I'm boyfriend girlfriend with them is because we like having sex with each other or something. Do you know what I mean? And then you're like, don't have sex with anybody else but me for the rest of your life, but I get to have sex with other people. But you can't count that because that's for money. Like, I get paid for that, so it's just different. But I'm giving you a freebie. Don't worry. And I'm like, what? Like, so you want me to consider a relationship to be like your other professional relationships, except the only difference is you don't have to get paid for this one. Like, do you see where the whole discrimination and stereotyping and stigma with the whole like sex work comes from? Is coming from? Like, it's insane, don't you think? Like, if I was like, yeah, I'm having sex with all these guys, but like, you can have sex with other people for money if you want. Like, but you're gonna be out of the bunch of boyfriends I have, and I should be allowed to have a bunch of boyfriends, right? Because like, polygamy is a freedom of sexual expression. So why not? Unless you're trying to say that it's an unhealthy relationship, like to have so many boyfriends at one time. It's like supplementing for something. Or like, you think it's not okay to have more than one sexual relationship with another person if you're already committed to somebody and it's not possible for a person to be polygamous. I actually don't know. Like, if I'm okay with having a bunch of boyfriends and that those boyfriends are free to have as many girlfriends as they want. You know what I mean? That's what polygamy is. So like, you can't actually like, it gets toxic if you're like, you can't ever see anybody else but me, but I get to see other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, this crazy, like, have you ever had a friend where like you can't make any new friends because they need to know about that friend, they want to know what you're doing, and they don't want to like, they're like, you can't be friends with anyone unless I'm okay with that person because we're kind of friends that way. And I'm like, yeah, you're asking for a lot out of me. Like, you're asking for a lot of things, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I've met a lot of people that are like that, and I'm like, okay, like, you can't monopolize a relationship, and you can't monopolize me. I'm sorry, I'm gonna meet other people, I'm gonna be friends with other people, new people, people that you don't know. And that's fine, that's healthy. Right? I think it's you saying that I can't be friends with somebody because you don't know them or you don't want to be friends with them means that you don't really want to be friends with me. You just want me in your life so they can rely on me whenever you want as a friend, but you don't get to be friends with me back. Like, you're asking for a lot. Like, do you understand? Like, you can't just like ask me like this. I think this goes with the toxic monogamy where the girlfriend or the boyfriend doesn't want the girlfriend or the boyfriend to see other people, like even as friends or acquaintances, unless they know that person. It's called domestic violence, okay? That's domestic violence. So you're romantically involved with somebody, whether you might even be married to that person, and they start restricting your ability to meet new people or have relationships where they're not directly in control of it or are aware of it. That's called domestic violence. If that's happening to you outside of a romantic relationship, it's called bullying. If it's happening to you by the government and that's what they're doing, that's called a war crime. Yeah, because the reasons for that as a government body is due to religious, racial, ethnical background, or any other discriminatory reasons. That's a war crime. Or it could be just, I think, what else is it called? Yeah, it's called a war crime. Or if they're doing that to force you to go somewhere outside the country, that's called sex trafficking. Yeah, it's called human trafficking, and only reason people are trafficked outside the country is specifically because that then they can get that person to have more babies or make people for them that way. So they get a right over authorizing like some sort of investigation reasons for that. It's gonna ruin your relationship if you don't know about it, or it's gonna end up with them getting fed up by the other government, which causes war. So they're trying to instigate war through a third party, which is an innocent civilian. That's a war crime. So either way, it's not healthy. Look, if you're ever sitting down and thinking about what polygamy is the willful and free and consensual expression of human relationship in a romantic context. So it's like people. It's not you cheating on somebody, right? If you're cheating and you're in a polygamous relationship or you're a polygamist, I mean you're not really polygamous. You're monogamous, psychotic monogamist. I'm gonna label that guy is going through psychosis. He's a monogamist. He believes he's something else. He thinks he's polygamous, but he's actually monogamous. But he wants all these people around him, and he can't handle it emotionally, mentally, or socially to be involved with more than one person at a time romantically. Do you know what I mean? Like, cheating is like, hey, I have a specific relationship with this person, and our relationship is healthy, and I will never do anything to hurt that person in a sexual or romantic context. Social context. I wouldn't do anything to hurt that person because due to my infidelity, which is cheating, you're having sex with somebody else because you are not getting your needs met. That's what you claim from the other person. So you're going to somebody else to have sex, and then they found out about it and they're very hurt and betrayed because you have actually added a person into their life without their consent, and also you have achieved them feeling like you don't respect them or they can no longer trust you, and you're saying that you don't really respect their boundaries or their personal wishes. That's called cheating. It's like, if I have two boyfriends, let's say one of them is I have two boyfriends, one's a construction worker and the other one works at a coffee shop, right? The one that works the construction work, what we like to do is we hang out and we go on dates together, and sometimes I hang out with him, and on top of that, sometimes like we like to, I don't know, go on vacations together, right? But I never actually talk about my other boyfriend while I'm there, and whatever I do with him, it has nothing to do with my other boyfriend. Not that they don't know about each other, and I would obviously tell him that I am dating somebody else. With the other one, that's the coffee shop, same deal, right? Same thing. I am still seeing that guy. We go on dates. I go on sleepovers with him. I get introduced to his family. I'm friends with some of his friends, right? So that guy works at the coffee shop. One works as a construction worker, and we have a good relationship. And I'm not doing anything to hurt him. I just like being with him. Do you understand? I like being with that guy because we both like each other the same way. But that doesn't diminish my like for another person. If that does happen to you, it means you're monogamous. Okay, if you can't physically or mentally be able to do that. So that's not cheating. It becomes cheating when I start having sex with a guy, have sexual encounters with a guy without telling any of them. That's cheating. Why? Because I'm disrespecting their impact on my life. So I'm saying I don't consider you to be important. I have another whole thing going on socially which impacts them, right? Being involved with somebody sexually or romantically means that you're involved with them socially, right? So you're keeping on a huge part of your life from them. It's called cheating, and it's only to get your own needs met or to get back at them, to know that you know that it's gonna hurt them if they ever find out about that kind of stuff, right? So that's why you're doing that, so that they'll start finding out about that. And then when that happens, right, they get very hurt, they feel betrayed, and sometimes you lose relationships that way. So if the coffee shop guy decides that's too much for him to handle, like I trust you, I can't trust you anymore, like you're always doing this kind of stuff behind my back, or you're having sex with all these different guys, and it's only because you don't think that I can do things for you, you're getting somebody else to do it for you. even though you're supposed to come to me first. That's called cheating, right? Like if you wanted to go on a date with me, whatever, we could have done something together, but like you got somebody else involved that I didn't know anything about, and it's only because you didn't feel like you were loved enough at the time, or something like that. That's called cheating, right? Um, and then you lose out. Like if that guy doesn't like what I did and he says that's actually enough for me to say I don't think a relationship's gonna work out. Like even if we try, my trust in you has now decreased, and I don't know if I can trust you again. And it's gonna put you in a bad spot because you're like he's gonna like order you be like you have to break it off with that guy, otherwise I'm gone. And you're gonna be like I can't really break it off with him because we're already like in a thing. But if you want to break it off with me, that's fine. Or like whether or not I'm fine with it or not, he's like this is what I'm saying. Like I'm only okay with it if you break it off with that guy. We'll try to fix it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? That's what he's saying. But what that really means is that he's actually over it with you because you did something to piss him off enough to say that you don't actually consider him to be a like. You know how people say women are like gatherers and stay-at-home people, and then when men are hunters and like protectors or whatever. He demasculated that guy. That's what he feels. He feels like he's not a man anymore because you're getting all these guys to do the job that he's supposed to do, and people are gonna think that he's a bitch or a pussy or whatever, and people are gonna wonder why you didn't go to that guy first. There's gonna be so many assumptions about you and that guy and the relationship you guys have. It's called a reputation. Like your reputation has also suffered, and if he doesn't break it off with you or doesn't make an amend like what is it like ultimatum, right? If he doesn't ask for an ultimatum or if he doesn't break it off with you, people are gonna think very highly of him. And yeah, what other people think about you and what they say about you does matter to an extent, as long as they're not bullying you, right? So that's what that is. So if I lose his relation, like if he doesn't want to be with me, that means all of his friends, everyone that he's associated with, now I don't have that person anymore. That's cheating. That's what happens when you cheat. You lose that, and then this guy that you were having sex with, if he knew about those two guys beforehand, he's not gonna care. If he didn't, then you're gonna lose that guy too. And the other boyfriend, construction worker guy, again, same deal as the other guy, the coffee shop guy. They're both gone. If that guy that you're having sex with, hopefully he knew about everything that's going on in your life. Otherwise, if it was just a one-time sex thing and whatever, you lost that one too. Now you end up with nothing, right? So it's just in the context of human relationships, that's what cheating is. But it's not cheating, like, or if you're lying to that person about it. So you're like, this is my friend, and then you have a boyfriend, but then this friend is actually somebody you're having sex with and you're going on dates with. So you're just lying to your boyfriend about it, and then you have another boyfriend, and I don't know why people, that's also cheating. I don't know why people do that. When I talk about it, I imagine that's what gonorrhea is. Literally, that looks like gonorrhea. It's a disease. Don't lie about that kind of stuff. Look, if you're like looking for a new open relationship, or they're like, okay, I met this guy and I really like him. Like, are you okay with me dating him? I'll be okay with you dating other girls too, but I still want to see you. You can kind of break it to them that way. I'm gonna be honest. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say no. I know, crazy, right? People like to be monogamous. I don't know why. I mean, they must be crazy. Why would anybody want to be monogamous when you can have so many relationships and know so many people and like be responsible for so many people? It's such a great way to meet people, you know, through sexual relationships. It's not. It's very unhealthy, and it's better to meet people the old-fashioned way. Go do your interests or through friends. You know, hey, do you know anyone? Or bring your friend to bars or clubs with you, and then you guys can try to like talk to people there. Yeah. I mean, you can, honestly. It's an option if you wanted to get to know people through sexual relationships. But like again, like I said, if that sexual relationship ends, then so does all their friends and everything that they have. It's like a divorce. So like everything you had, everything they had is done. It's like it's gone there. Do you know what I mean? But like, if you actually like, I don't think that's. Anyway, polygamy is like, my boyfriend has like 3 other girlfriends. I don't really see them or hang out with them because that'd be weird. And I never hang out with any of those people either. That's also weird. We don't ever go on dates together or anything like that. But we all know about each other, and we just kind of like do the same thing, hang out together. I mean, if you are like, if I had 5 boyfriends and like 4 of my boyfriends start to like hate on one boyfriend, and then like we all got together to like bully that guy and like make him feel like shit for no reason. Number 1, that's illegal. That's called harassment. And number 2, I'd be a piece of shit. And number 3, I wouldn't have that boyfriend anymore. And unfortunately, that means that you never really were boyfriend and girlfriend, or you're gonna be very devastated when the relationship ends. So it's either one of the or. Like, that was a fake relationship. You just made it look like you guys were boyfriend, girlfriend, or you're forcing him to be with you. It's a crime. But you don't really care about that guy anyway. Or second one, you actually did care and it was a relationship, and now you don't have it anymore, and that's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt like a bitch. Oh my god. Yeah. But are you okay with being a polygamist? I think it's polygamists are made, not born. I mean, not made. I mean, they're born, not made. Sorry, I mixed it up there. Polygamists are born, not made. As in, you don't become a polygamist. You are born a polygamist. So like, it's kind of like, not a lot of people are okay with that, and not a lot of people like want a million relationships. Not a lot of people want to know like everybody in town. Right? People are fine with just like knowing a few people. Like, a lot of people are, and that's fine. Some people like to know a lot of people, but have like the trade-off being, I know a lot of people, but I don't really have a good like. I don't really know them that well. Not good relationship. Like, my relationship with them is good. It's fine, but I don't know them too much. Like, I don't know them very well. I don't really know their family members or who they hang out with or their friends or anything like that. But we know each other. Those are acquaintances. Typically, you can be friends with them. So that's an acquaintance. Otherwise, like, I only know, like, honestly, probably my roster, like, on my index of cards and Rolodex, I have like probably like I can only call about like 500 people. I have 500 people, and I'm like in my 40s in my Rolodex that I can call, and those includes family members. But I know them very well. We know where I know where each of them works. I know their closest friends, and I know all their family members, and we've actually hung out very well. Like, not very well. Like, we've see each other at least once a year. And I know all their kids, and my kids know their kids. That's what that means when that person has only 500 people on the roster. Like, people prefer that kind of relationship. Some people prefer that kind of relationship. That's called having a high need for intimacy. Some people prefer the other kind of relationship, where I know, like, I'm 25 and I know about. I've met and talked to and had a conversation with all of my 3,500 Facebook friends. That's how I'm keeping in contact. So my Rolodex is 3,500 people, but I know every single one of them. Yeah, I don't know who their friends are. I know where they work. I know their direct contact number, and I know what type of person they are. Yeah, because we've had a conversation with them, hung out a few times. But I don't see them, like, all of them I don't see every year. I see them on occasion here and there. Those are acquaintances. Right? Some people prefer that kind of stuff. But everyone needs a close friend or, like, a life partner or whatever. But if you want to wonder, like, polygamy is illegal in a lot of countries, not in everyone. But I think it has lots more to do with the type of person that person is. So, like, why is polygamy illegal? Because it gets abusive. A lot of people see people do it and they think it'll be fine, and it causes problems, typically domestic violence, or people filing lawsuits against each other in family court. They end up like trying to sabotage each other because they feel like they're being stiffed when they weren't prepared to be in a polygamous relationship to begin with. Like they understand what it is, they know about it, and they have an idea of what it's like, and they think that they can go and do it because they can put themselves in that situation and they'll be fine. Does that make sense? It's like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, okay, like, are you sure you're okay with your boyfriend having like 7 other girlfriends? Like, I know you have 5 other boyfriends, but like, are you gonna start complaining about him all the time? You're okay with like having like 6 boyfriends who all have 7 girlfriends? Like, you really okay with that kind of stuff? Like, if I wasn't okay with that, I would just let them know. Maybe you can even put limits on yourself. Like, I'm okay with you having maximum 2 girlfriends to all your boyfriends. Like, I have 5 boyfriends. I tell them, look, if this exceeds 2 girlfriends, then I'm gonna find you a replacement, or I'm just gonna go. Either way, if I can't find your replacement, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go. Okay? I can only handle my 5 boyfriends hanging with 2 girls each, including myself. Okay, so including me, I'm the including me, there's 1 other girl. So like, you know what I mean? Or like, you're like, oh, I'm the 3 girls or something, or like, I can have my 5 boys have 5 girlfriends each. So there's like 4 girlfriends each times. There's 20 other girls. Okay, so I'm just gonna be like, oh, I like the fact that like he's dating 20 other girls. I'm fine with that, because I'm also dating 5 guys at a time. Yeah, I'm dating 5 dudes, but those dudes are dating different girls and they're all dating 20 girls. I personally am dating 5 guys. The other guy is also dating 5 girls. But put it together, maybe those girls are polygamous too, so they all have to be polygamous. Right, so maybe those girls have more than 1 boyfriend. They all got 2 boyfriends each or something. So there's like 40 other guys. Right? This is 40, no. Like 20, no, 40. I'm gonna say about 40 other guys. So I have 5 boyfriends. They have in total there's 20 girlfriends and another 40 boyfriends behind that, and that just goes on and on and on. Do you see how it gets to be a problem? Like, do you not see the potential of like scamming and infidelity and like lawsuits and crime happening there? That's why it's illegal. Is your boyfriend really okay with you dating 5 other guys? That's for you to decide. Honestly, if you really care about that guy, then you wouldn't do that. Really, honestly, like, even if you took a beat together, you cared about him, you wouldn't put him in that spot. So if you do that, it means that you don't care about that, right? You don't care about what he thinks or how he feels about what you're doing, because what you're doing should be acceptable regardless of what he feels or thinks. Yeah, that's called being in an abusive relationship. It's unhealthy. It's literally like living off McDonald's, okay? Not healthy. Ow. So, I don't know. I keep getting this image of this woman who thinks we're in a relationship. I've been getting nightmares about this too. She thinks that we're together. Like, literally, the foster mom that I had to live with, she actually believes that like we're dating. And I'm like, I'm not dating you. We're never in a romantic relationship. None of it was sexual or romantic. But you keep thinking it is, which is why you went to the hospital and had all those pills and stuff. And I didn't want to say anything about it, but it's come to a point where I'm just like, you need to understand, you keep saying this stuff about me. And other people who don't really understand what's going on, because again, they don't see us together because of the fact that I can't be near you because you want to kill me. Because of the fact that we're not together romantically or sexually, doesn't make sense. That part doesn't make sense. The you killing me part I get, but the other part where you don't understand that we're not together, that part doesn't make sense. So you're telling me that like it's okay for you to say all that rumor and slander and stuff, libel, which is illegal, solely because of what? Because you get to complain and make up stuff about other people and it doesn't affect anyone else? That's selfish. This is why I said, okay, look, I don't want anything to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, the foster mom doesn't understand this. Like, she thinks that what she's doing is okay. She thinks it's okay for her to tell me exactly what's going on, and the fact that I need to do everything she's asking of me. And I'm like, it's not okay for anyone to do that for you. And she keeps on thinking that we're together. Like I said before, I just don't know how to explain it to her so she understands we were never, like, that was never a thing. Like, whatever ideas about romance and feelings that you had, I don't know if it was for me or for another person. It's still inappropriate for you to feel that way. And also, you shouldn't be blaming me for the fact that you didn't understand that what you did was inappropriate at the time. And you try to cover up for it by saying that we were dating or we were actually friends or we were very close or something like that isn't an actual justifiable excuse. And then getting the cops involved and lying to everyone else around me and intentionally getting me in situations with people that will hurt me, right? That's, again, not okay. Do you understand? Do you understand where this is coming from? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, not her specifically, you the viewers, do you understand what that is? Like, you feel miffed, you feel stiffed, and you feel like they're not respecting you, even though it is respectful. And because of that, you start doing all that stuff to make the other person look bad. But you don't say it to them because you don't want them to know that you're just lying about that person to everyone. How would they know? Honestly, how would they know that you're lying about this person or not? They trust you and they see that you're upset. Or even if they don't trust you, they don't know what's actually going on. So you mentioning that is gonna arouse some suspicions, right? They're like, is this actually going on, or why is she saying this? Is there any reason for this person to say these things? Most of the time, people are gonna assume that there is a reason, right? And it's most of the time they're gonna assume there was some sort of fight that happened, or somebody did something wrong, but they don't know who's doing the what wrong. But they see that you're the upset one, or at least you're feigning being upset. They're faking it to make it look like it's me that's upsetting them, right? And then people are gonna make a lot of assumptions and they're gonna think different things about me. And the way that you go and describe me and then intentionally upsetting me and saying those things to me and putting me in places where you were talking about before to make it look like something that's not true, right? That's called being manipulative, right? That's why it's not okay for you to say those things. That's why those things are illegal. It's hurting other people, not just you and the other person, right? So that's why those things are not okay. And then you expecting that person to still want to be with you or like even want you in their life is just, I mean, you're asking for a lot here. Like, you're gonna say all those things, you're gonna do all that, and you see how it's affecting that person, and you're bullying that person. That's what bullying is. This is how women bully other people. Typically, this is what women do when they bully other girls. Okay, but they know that they're bullying the other person. So that's what girls do when they're bullying somebody. Right? And because girls are more socially, like, adept, I think. Not that, like, I don't know how to say this. Look, everybody knows that guys would rather get along with the most amount of people than girls. Girls don't care about that kind of stuff. So they take advantage of the fact, and they know that the guys are involved with other women. And if you're the type of guy to, like, believe that kind of stuff, they also know the girls that you're hanging out with just through that. Right? And so they're taking advantage of you that way by saying those things. And saying that, like, hey, like, I know that girl that you're sleeping with, if you even tell her, like, she's gonna believe this. Okay, so, like, you know what, even if this person ever meets you on random occasion, they're gonna think she's a piece of shit bitch because I already said that. Because I put it in a way and I made it seem like this to you, so, and then they trust you, right? Right, there's no way for you to start lying about that person. But you did, because you think it's true. You believe this is true. So that's how it starts spreading, that's how that word gets around. It's called bullying. That's harassment and coercion and extortion. Okay, in outside of school, it's called harassment, theft, extortion, and coercion. That's what that's called if civilians are doing that to another civilian outside of school age. So from 0 years old to 18 years old, outside of that, it's just called coercion, threat, and extortion. It's a crime. Outside of that, how do you know if somebody's a bully versus if somebody's an actual criminal? I mean, not a criminal. You know, there's different types of people, right? So how do you know if somebody's a bully, and how do you know if somebody is just does that criminal activity? Bullies end up incarcerated with mental illnesses and on the streets with no friends or family to help them. That's what they meant by homeless. Typically, they're usually bullies, not always. If there's a homeless person in your area that's not a bully and is there due to some other social factors, you better run and get the fuck out. Because that's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign. Yeah, that means there's some weird shit going on and that person is being targeted for, I'm not gonna go ahead and say that they're being targeted for assassination, because that's what happens to presidents and political influencers who get into a place of power where they're not actually supposed to be there. So that means that person has been targeting that person, a group of people have been targeting that person from the beginning. Like, political assassinations, that's what that means. So why do they do that? Why do they assassinate that person politically? Because they said some stuff that was harmful and offensive to other people. And it was hurting their economy. So they elected that guy, they support him all the way, just go bam, 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 and then shot that guy down. Because they were expecting him to make mistakes. Not everybody who supports that guy was making mistakes, but there were enough people in the area who thought that way, and they wanted to get them to understand what that does. Okay, so that's how they did it. That's what political assassination is. If that's happening in your area, which is what's happening with me, it means there's been a serious violation. It's a war crime. So it's either your country's going through war, or you guys are about to lose everything. Yeah, hopefully you don't owe the person who's homeless. If you do, then yeah, you're about to lose everything. If you don't owe anything to that person, and that person being homeless has nothing to do with who that person is or anything that you did in your entire life, and you're not benefiting off of anything, right? And there's really nothing you can do for that person, that's an isolated incident. That's harassment and bullying, but that's done by the government. It's a war crime against a person, but if you don't actually have anything to do with why that person was there, as in you didn't say anything to somebody else, you weren't supporting that kind of stuff, you were actively doing something to combat these kind of effects, right? You're that person who was doing that, then that means that you're not actually going to be affected by the economic turmoil, or the Great Depression, as the Americans called it. Yeah. Economic turmoil meaning, like, sorry, I thought of something funny. Economic turmoil meaning, like, you guys are about to lose a lot of money. Yeah, it's gonna be like little things that you don't like, and you don't money. Yeah, they're crazy. It means a lot of people in your area is crazy, and there's no cure for crazy or stupid. There's cure for love. If you love that person, cheat on them. You won't love them anymore. That's a little party trick I learned. Yeah, cheat on that person and you won't love that person, and that person definitely won't love you. So that person will stop loving you. And in that case, when that happens, right? You can't love that person anymore. Like, love is a reciprocated feeling. So I love you and you love me. That's love. You don't love on your own, unrequited love. That's just called sexual feelings. I have sexual feelings for someone. I find this person sexually attractive. That's not love. As much as people would like to admit or believe or whatever, that's not love. What love isn't just like you wanting to have sex with that person, which goes back to the whole polygamy thing. It's fine for you're still considered a polygamist. That kind of freaked me out. If that's so weird. I must be seeing things. Okay, you're still a polygamist. If you only have sexual relationship with somebody. And sexual relationship is not an actual romantic relationship. Like as in like you're not dating, but you're not like you're seeing somebody. That's what that means. Like I'm seeing this guy, which means like yeah, we hang out, we have sex with each other. Sometimes we get food or we have takeout. Yay. Dating someone means yeah, we get dressed up to go places to like do things with each other. Yeah, that's a date. Yeah, I forget most of my date jobs. Honestly, they were very boring. Because dates are about the other person, not where you're going. They were really boring, honestly. It was the most boring date in my entire life. You don't have to end your date in sex. Like that's tacky. I know some people do that because the date was bad, or like if they have sex, at least they can call it a date. I'm like, that's really tacky. That's fucking tacky as shit. It's like tackier than getting ugly knockoffs. Like that's fucking like, I don't know. I didn't know who to take to prom, so like I asked my neighbor's cousin, but like would totally hate her because I was like hating on her for a long. You know what I mean? It's like it's so lame when you're like talking shit about somebody and then like you beg that person to be with you. I think that's called simping now. Um, yeah, that's that's this is weird. But yeah, that's what that is. What else? Um, yeah. So like sexual or romantic encounters are like you typically one-time things, or you just that's all you guys do together. Literally, you don't ever hang out, you don't ever visit each other, you don't really know much about each other, but you stay together because you like having sex with each other. That's a sexual romance. Sexual romance. Sexual relationship. The only reason you guys are romancing each other is so you can have sex with each other. That's what that is. Yeah. A romantic relationship or somebody you're dating. Okay, so like if you're seeing somebody, it means you're just having sex with them. If you're dating somebody, that means you're not necessarily having sex with that guy, but you really like him romantically, and you like cuddle and hold hands and like you go out in public and do stuff together, right? Like it's a date, but you can like go like you know like Netflix and chill can be a date. Can be if you make it a date. Like making a date means like I don't know how to say. Like you know when you're hanging out with your friend and you guys are just like kind of watching movies together, that's not a date. You know when you're like going getting coffee with your coworker before you head back to work during your break, not a date. Like I don't know, like you and your girls are going out to a club, not a date. Definitely not a group date. You going to a bar with your classmate, not a date. You guys are hanging out. This is basically the intention behind why you guys are seeing each other. So like I'm seeing my friend because we want to catch up and see how we're each doing, or like we just want to kill time together. That's it. That's not a date at all. It's like if you're having sex with that guy and you're like if I was having sex with him and we're doing that, that would mean I was seeing him. Yeah, that's seeing somebody. But if you've never actually gone on a date, like date doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna take a shit. Shit. What is that? Date? What is a date? It's like I don't fucking know. Like okay, you guys are going there. Like let's say I'm going to a date and it's at a restaurant, not a bar, an actual restaurant. Like real food and chef and like wait staff and everything. So go there and then you're like, oh, what are you gonna do at the date? The entire point is so that you can like get to know each other romantically. Not like you're flirting with each other the entire time, but like the goal isn't to like have sex with each other at the end of it. Like the goal is like I don't know, it's just you like that person like romantically and you're sexually attracted to them and that's why you're spending time together. And you're letting people know that, I guess, in public, and you don't have to do it in public, but you're letting each other know that like by hanging out or spending time together. Say like, hey, I like you, but like I like you. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a date. Yeah, you can stay at his house and watch Netflix and still do that kind of stuff. I mean, not the. Some people might find it fun. Honestly, I wouldn't really find that fun. Like, if you guys are going clubbing together, again, it's hard to pull off. I'm not gonna lie. Going to clubs as a date is really hard to pull off. Like, you're dating this guy, you guys are gonna go clubs together. You're better off bar hopping, honestly. That would be a fun date for a lot of people. Or if you're like during patio season, when patios are open, like you can go bar hopping then. That's a fun date for a lot of people. If you wanna like, if you got like a day off or something and you wanna spend time with that person that you really, really like. Yeah, that's just with your vagina, but with your heart. Yeah. Both of them. Sometimes girls only like guys with their vagina, and that's all they get. Sometimes girls only like guys with their heart, and that's called dating. Yeah, I like you a lot with all my heart. So let's go and do stuff together to like show each other we both like each other. It's a date. But with like a romantic relationship, I don't know if people don't know this by now. I've met so many people in their 30s and up who don't really grasp this concept. Yeah, like just like if you're going steady, that's your actual boyfriend girlfriend. That's called going steady, and you don't actually have to worry about going on dates with other people. You're already dating that person. Like you're like like I'm seeing this person and then I'm dating this person, and then you say like, oh, that's my boyfriend or girlfriend. It means you're steady. So you're both seeing each other and dating each other at the same time, and it's been consistent for a long period of time. That's called going steady. Oh my god. How do you know if somebody's married? Like that thing I talked about, like I do porn stuff with my boyfriend and I go out and ruin people's lives that I hate. My enemies and my husband. I'm gonna, you know what? Me and my husband pulled aside our savings specifically so we can start up a business to combat the crime that is atrocious dresses. So we both made a boutique, okay, and we only sell nice dresses made from very nice material, and it's only gonna look good on certain type of people who are supposed to look good for a certain type of demographic, and anyone else who wears it is gonna look like a complete garbage can. Okay, and you can't wear any of that kind of stuff ever, and you should know that if you ever waste your money, which you will be if you buy from our store for the wrong thing. How dare you? That's like that joint business would be with my husband. I want to do that with you can't do that with your boyfriend. Like it's gonna fail. With my boyfriend, I'm like, bro, we just saw this stuff on TV and we're gonna try to like make it with a real man. You know, like that squat shit? Yeah, that's what you do with your boyfriend, but like in a romantic / sexual setting. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, so if you want it to be like romantic / sexual, and you're like, yeah, we're reenacting the scene from Scream, the first movie, but like we're gonna try to like make it as real as possible. But like instead of Scream, it's gonna be like, instead of some creepy guy in a mask calling some innocent girl, it's gonna be some creepy guy in a suit calling a nurse or something. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, and then like people like wondering what you guys is. That's just, I guess, like basically role playing, but it's like, you know, like I don't know what they do in porn. Like do stupid shit to make fun of other people together. Yeah, basically. Oh, that's pretty funny. But yeah, that I would do that with my boyfriend. Oh, you can do this. Isn't specifically boyfriend girlfriend / like if you're doing this with your boyfriend, it means you're married. Okay, so like, oh, I'm dating this guy, but like I'm gonna quit my job and like move to a different city to be with him, and he's gonna quit his job because we're not gonna be able to like live in that area because I won't be able to make that much money. So like he's gonna find a place like closer to. He's either gonna like he's gonna quit his job to find a different job closer to where we can live together. Or like yeah, I'm learning a new language to be so we can like start communicating each other better or whatever. Like that's marriage, kind of. I mean, if you find somebody who's willing to do that for you, that's marriage material. Yeah, but you can get scammed. So like you might fail and stuff because you weren't together. But yeah, that's marriage material. Boyfriend material is like, dude, we can totally make fun of these guys. Well, that's friends. Like, it's what you do with your squad. Squad. Like typically, like when you're in high school, your classmates are like your squad, and then I don't know, like this squad shit is like, it's not really gang stuff. It's like, oh, we're all gonna dress up as bananas and go to a bar, get wasted. The squad. You know when you like squad up, everyone show up and be squad. Yeah, that's what that squad is. That's so funny. Yeah, that's squad shit. Bro, we're gonna like go to our graduation, but we're all gonna be wearing like matching pants. Literally, it's gonna be the same pair of pants in different sizes. It's gonna be, I know there's girls and boys, but it's all gonna be men's. Yeah, squad shit. Okay, that's how we're gonna support her or him. It's graduation. Yeah, that's literally squad shit. I don't know. There's a lot of squad memes. But anyway, yeah, you don't go on dates with your squad. You don't hang out with your squad. It's weird. If you hang out with your squads, you're friends now. You guys aren't squads anymore. Yeah, we're not squad anymore because now we're friends. We've like it's graduated to friendship level. And what happens when you're friends? Now you get to do things together. I guess I don't know. Fuck. I guess we gotta hang out now. Every time you call about your girlfriend, oh fuck, fine. Why don't you? So tell me more about how much of a whore, slut, cunt, bitch she is, and I'll just, be paying attention to how much you hate her or something. I don't know. Oh my god, your mom yelled at you again? Oh, I am so sorry. Cannot relate. I just ignore that kind of shit. I'm like, I don't think that's a problem because they're usually wrong. In the case that they're right, it's right about somebody else, not me. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so how do you know if you're married to somebody? Did you literally change your life for that person? And like, or are you willing to change any aspect of your life just so you guys can be together? Then that's a marriage. Or you guys just hanging out and you have all separate lives? Like you got your own group of friends and you got your own place. He has his own group of friends, he has his own place, and like you guys just like doing like sex stuff or like friend stuff with each other, but like in a sexy way, sexy friend stuff. Yeah, that's a boyfriend girlfriend. Marriage is like we go to war now. Boyfriend girlfriend's like, bro, we gotta like, yo, let's like we gotta go out now. Yeah. Like we're in it till we die. Versus like, I think we can find a different way. You know what? Like, you always. I don't know. I'll help you. Okay, I don't know. Like versus like your husband's like, I'm gonna buy a house for you. Literally, I have the money. I'm just gonna buy you a house. Versus boyfriend's like, I can help you look for a place. Or his friends like, yeah, you can crash at my place, but not for that long, cause like, bro, like I'm fucking renting, or like, yeah, I talked to my mom, she's fine with renting. I mean, or like, oh yeah, you can totally crash at my place, whatever. It's my own place. Those are friends. Yeah, so if you have friends, they let you crash at their place. But if you guys aren't friends, then you can't crash at their place. That's how this is like really like you never know who your friends are until it gets to that point, right? Because people do a lot of work to make it look like they're friends so that they can continually use you or like rely on you for resources without actually giving anything back. Because they're mooches, like that's a mooch. Don't get upset. They're not really worth anything. It's better to have them out of your life. So how do you know if somebody's a friend? A friend is a person who comes by. It is versus neighbor. Neighbors would be doing this for you too, honestly. But if you live in a bad neighborhood, then they won't do anything. But so a friend is like a person who like, yeah, it's like, hey, I just got kicked out. Do you think I can crash at your place? That's a friend. Versus, oh fuck, I got kicked out, and then your boyfriend's like, okay, you can like sleep in my car, or like I'll pay for a hotel room, or like, you can stay at my uncle's house or my aunt's house or something. That's a boyfriend. If you got kicked out and all of a sudden they're all busy and they can't help you out, it means you were hanging with a bunch of mooches, which is probably what was wasting your time and making a bunch of friends. And you unfortunately you don't actually have any friends. But the bright side is you never had friends. Like, those were never your friends to begin with. But the downside is, like, I guess you just realized it when everything went to shit, and now you're just like, is it because you guys were involved in how things were turning out and you don't want to take the responsibility for it? Which means either one of two things. One, they've been hiding that for a long time, and they were doing all that work to try to, like, you know, confuse you and trick you. Or two, they, like, yeah, if they all disappear, they're all mooches. Basically, it's either they're mooches or you made really poor choices in picking your friends. So, like, it only means one of two things. Everyone either is a piece of shit asshole mooch that you didn't realize, or they were doing all that work to not be that person at the time, or they were doing all that to make it hide the fact that they're mooching off you. So if they're trying to hide it, typically it's gonna be abusive. If they were trying to change it, then you won't be able to tell until it gets to that point if it was successful or not. Their transformation of being a piece of shit to a functional, decent human being. As in, like, they might be mentally ill, so if they don't ever get better, then, you know, right? Or like, you made really poor choices. You know this guy's a piece of shit. You see what he's doing to other girls and what they're saying and what they're doing, and you chose to be friends with him anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know the type of guy he is and what he's been involved in, what he does, and you thought that was cool, not knowing that people like that are like that. Like, obviously they, like, do you know what? They wouldn't say no to you supporting them because they like having supporters, but they would never actually support you back. That's kind of how you can tell. Yeah, like, honestly, I wouldn't take it to heart. Like, if you made wrong choices in life, like, as in you made the wrong friends and you picked the wrong people to be friends with, just sit down and think about why you chose to ignore the things and what you can do about it. Like, what you learn from it and how you're gonna change it next time you meet new people. It's an easy fix. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. And if anybody asks, you could be like, I didn't think that people were like that because we were friends, we were supposed to be, and I guess they just kind of conned me or whatever, or like they like tricked me. And they honestly, if that person's an asshole, which is somebody you wouldn't want to be friends with anyway, they just make fun of you for it. Or if that person is like actually interested in being friends with you, right, then they would be like, oh, it's fine. I mean, it's kind of stupid what you did, but like, I'm sure like you can like make amends of it anyway. Like, it doesn't really change how I see you or the fact that I want to be friends with you. That kind of stuff. Like, they really wouldn't change their opinion of you. Plus, if they're like friend material, they'd be able to see what kind of person you are anyway. So they'd be like, yeah. Also, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really like. I wouldn't want to like ask any of them for anything. Do you ever like have that feeling, your gut feeling, when you're like, you just meet somebody new and then you're like, oh, I don't really like. You feel uncomfortable asking for stuff. Yeah, that's a bad sign. Yeah, I would trust that feeling of you not being able to trust that person and just leave it. it doesn't really matter who's the untrustworthy one there. Just leave that relationship. If you're feeling like you can't trust this person, it's because that person's not like you. Like standard wise and type wise. Not that they're your enemies or anything. It just means like you guys are gonna run into problems. So just maybe better not to be in a relationship with that person. Yeah. So that's what that means. It's just don't get so upset if that happens to you and you really didn't know who your friends were. Like just before, even if you're friends with people now, just sit down and think about it. If this happened, what would my friend do? Literally, like what would they do for me? Like what can they do versus what will they actually do? Right? And if you know for a fact that woman's a roach, I think she's a refugee. I don't know why she's been calling the cops on me, harassing me, but like I think she's involved with a bunch of people who are trying to steal from me. So they're asking her to call the police and file those reports, so that they can have a excuse or reason to say somebody called us and said that. Yeah. But yeah, if sit down and think about it, like what would my friend do? Like if I had a friend and I got kicked out, what would they do? If they don't do anything for you, that's not your friend. Like no, like let's not be unreasonable. Like what can they do for me? Right? Like if I got kicked out, what can my friend do? Is my friend like, oh, she's working a minimum wage job full time and she has to pay rent. What can she do for me? She can probably help me find a place to crash, or let me stay at her place until she can find somewhere I can crash at. But I probably can't stay at her place for a very long time because of the fact that she's a renter and there is actual whatever with the landlord, right? If that person's your friend, they wouldn't mind you staying at their place without paying rent. Does that make sense? Like literally, like they wouldn't care. They'd be like, yeah, I'm fine with you today. Obviously you're gonna find your own place after, but like until then, like, you can stay at my place. That's what that is. Or like if your friend's in town or something, you're like, yeah, you can come to my place, no problem. There were some girls being really nasty online, I saw, and they're like hating on me because I was really pretty. And I don't know why they were saying that, but then I realized it was because they were being nasty to those guys. Yeah, they were saying like they were using me to say that those guys were like really shitty to other girls, and they were just like trying to make it look like I just wanted to be with them because I need a place to stay. And I was like, but that's not what that means when you say that in that situation with me involved. Do you understand what they're trying to say? It was mean, like honestly they were being nasty, but like that's what they were doing. But yeah, yeah, and I also realized there were some things that people can do only with me, but like not with other people, but like that's called a friend material. Like if you can do whatever that was with anyone else, then that's kind of just acquaintance / people you've met. Not really friend. But yeah, oh my god, if you have a friend, like if you are friends with somebody and then they see that you need help and then they just ignore you, that's not your friend anymore. Bitch, get out.